Hello, good day to you, me Andy here, and Andy Wright Travel. Now, thanks to Trevor for the link to the story about the UK rail companies and the fact that they may have to be paying compensation. Yay, that's good. Now, it's in the Guardian, so let's have a look at the Guardian. Here we are. They could have to pay disabled passengers more compensation. The regulators say that claims over failures no longer limited to the cost of a ticket to toughen up the accessibility rules. This is basically about the fact that when you book assistance and it doesn't turn up, you're left on the train or whatever, and there are some high profile people who have been left stranded. In other words, one of them is Tanny Gray Thompson, the former Paralympic athlete, and now is a lord. He was left stranded at King's Cross Station. But it's not just about that, it's about the normal everyday people who have been left to cope, and obviously then there was a little bit about compensation, because they obviously can get their ticket money back, but what they're saying here is that the compensation should be a lot more. Passengers, obviously, with disabilities can book this ahead of time, and I have used it many times, and touch wood, not had much of a problem. Obviously, sometimes they're not there immediately, and sometimes they are there, but they don't help you much. But the idea of this is for people who are left and they have booked, because you can get help with luggage, navigating the railway station, getting on and off trains, ramps and things like that. And you can book it up to 2 hours before travel, which is really good. So I have done that before where I was in somewhere and I thought, I better book on the way home, and I wasn't sure what time I wanted to go home, but I can book it 2 hours before. ORR, which is Office of Rail and Road, the rail regulator, has warned rail companies running trains and stations that compensation claims for failures can no longer be limited to the cost of a ticket. Refund, obviously. They are saying that this is going to be changed and should be changed. There's an example there of Paulie, 47 years old, who used a wheelchair, had booked assistance and it did not arrive, although he did eventually board with the help of train staff, which is a good reason why they need to keep staff on the train. I've had that many times where there's been a delay in the train railway station staff, but the train staff have put the ramp out for me, and obviously got me off as well. Assistant failures are still regular, and it's clear the industry does not care sufficiently. I feel such failures should be given the same status and priority as safety incidents. And of course they're talking about how much that you should get. And Lee Day, which is a law firm, sent the letter, the ORR, before action, highlighting the case of Paulie. Unfortunately, Mr. Paulie's case is not unique. Quite rightly, if you are vulnerable and you're disabled and you're left at midnight or whatever, late night, on a station you don't know about, you don't know where you are, and there's no way to get off it. For example, I've had that where they put me on a station that had steps, knowing full well that I couldn't do it. So, things like that, which is difficult. And whilst the passenger app is okay, it doesn't help you with certain journeys that you may want to make, i.e. when I go to Heathrow Airport, There's nothing that you can book for the other end. You can book from Paddington or anywhere else, but you can't book from there to Heathrow and get help the other end. You have to rely on somebody being there or a member of the public. Right, that's it for today. Hope it was useful for you. And of course, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. See you again soon. Bye for now.